Welcome to my review of Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, the theatrical cut, seen at the cinema, or theater, if you prefer. This is a spoiler-free review. In case you don't know, Rebel Moon is the latest movie by Zack Snyder, and it's out on the cinemas now at select locations around the globe. Please realize I am simply stating my opinion. There's no objective truth in art. This is my subjective review and my thoughts. And there's a trigger warning. Suicide. If this topic is something that is triggering to you, I would suggest you either don't watch the rest, or if you really want to, be very sure, maybe watch it with a friend. If it does trigger you, I would recommend not watching. But ultimately, it is simply a spoiler-free review. And there is a written version of this review available on Twitter at my username, Solivagant. Now, this is a movie with a few despicable characters, and you'll recognize them when you see them. In the scenes that they appear, there's two of them, well, three of them, but there's a couple of them where you're like, okay, this is a Zack Snyder film. Now I see it. The implication and the characters, the way that the scene, like once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, this isn't. Those are the types of movies. This is a Zack Snyder movie. These are utterly disgusting scenes, like repulsive. Like, to some people you're like, stop. Other people, Zack Snyder filmed it, so it's like he films them because he's trying, to show them. It's just like, look, this happens. And that's how Snyder works. He's a counterculture specialist. It's how he does things. Zack Snyder's values are on every frame. This is a movie with three audiences. First and foremost, if you are a worried fan, Restore the Snyderverse fan, or you dream of the completed five movie collection of Zack Snyder's DC movies, rest assured this is a movie for you. This is a movie for the fans. The characters on screen, they are us. The heroes, not the repulsive ones, the heroes. They're us. They're the fans. The second audience this movie was made for is a general audience. Now, this is it's a movie with broad appeal. It's produced and distributed by Netflix, available worldwide in every country in the world by this streaming company. So obviously, there are some global themes that are explored. Themes of abandonment, of found family, of wonder and technology, of sadness and death, of bounty and harvest. And these themes are explored, under the lens of science fiction and the journey that characters go through from one point to the other, in which they have to face their fears and to really think, like, who to bring along with me, and how to get to the goals that you are really looking for. Now, this is where things get a bit emotional. This is where the trigger warning comes in. The third audience is an audience that only the fans and Snyder's family, friends, only those people know who this audience is. It's on every frame of this movie. It's built into the architecture. Every shot, every action scene, every beat, every word. There is one person for whom this movie was made for, in honor of. And we as Snyder fans know exceedingly well who it is. And we feel for Snyder, for Zack Snyder and Deborah Snyder. We feel for you. For the fans, the words you seek will not be in the movie. But it's not a slight, of course not. This is a movie that's distributed by Netflix. This is a movie that has worldwide, people are going to be sitting on Friday the 22nd and they're going to open Netflix, and Netflix will recommend, would you care to watch Rebel Moon Part 1? A Child of Fire. And people will click yes. People will click play. But those words that I mentioned, they don't need to be there. They don't. Because any fan will be able to tell. They will. Just like I did. Whether they end up loving the film, or they have issues with it, or they just really desire the fantastical R-rated cut that is coming. Whichever of the two views, it doesn't matter, because Zack Snyder has already, declared, both with the movie and in interviews, that this movie is his vision. All 4 of the releases are his vision. He told us so in the review, in the interview. So it's the theatrical cut of Part 1, the R-rated cut of Part 1, the theatrical cut of Part 2, the R-rated cut of Part 2. All 4 are his vision. He told us so. So as a fan, if you are concerned that you're going to miss something out, or you're going to see an inferior version, do not fear. This is not inferior. This is equal. The R-rated version will show more of the themes that are explored, and certainly things that we could not see in the theatrical version. But ultimately, I believe the message will be the same. But Zack Snyder, if you're watching this, feel free to subvert the message on the R-rated cut. I'd love to see that. To go back to the third audience, because I think it's something that has to be said, that has to be stated, that has to be here for the people who click on this review and they want to see some review, some fumbling fan, trying to tell you about action scenes or the story or the characters. This review is not that. This is a review about the movie. No one will ever be able to deny it. No critic, no fan who might say, nah, you're wrong. No general audience member. They won't be able to deny that this movie is dedicated to that person. Nor why would they? But some people, this is where I get sad. This is where a fan gets emotional. A fan gets emotional. This fan gets emotional to say the next words, but I will say them. This movie is dedicated to the one person who can never watch this film. But we, the fans, can. We have fans who have banded together to support Zack in difficult times, in harsh situations. We tell him openly. We have no demands. We're fans. We are here, and you do whatever movie you want. We are here. And the thousands of dollars raised for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, this is already our legacy. I donated a small amount myself, cementing my place, not because I wanted to put my name on something, because I wanted to contribute, because it is so important work, essential work that needs to be done. but we as a fandom can do so much more. I have no doubt in my mind that this will be the hit of Netflix's festive holiday season. Rebel Moon tells a story that holds no punches. The action scenes, I think they're the stuff of legend. I saw the movie, I was in theater, sat as the action scenes played out. So did I play them out with my arms. That's how I see movies. I appreciate the synchronicity. If I can see how it's gonna happen, I'm like, oh yeah, do it. So in one particular scene where this thing happens, I did it. So it's like, this is what I did. I had like my arm like this. I think it was the right one. And so the scene happens, or maybe it was the left one, but the scene happened, like the event happens, and I was like this. And the character wearing the sort of, I guess, the traditional clothes, and the other sort of, still a character, right? The character goes like this. And I matched my movement to it because I've seen so many Zack Snyder films. Like I know it's gonna happen. I know what's gonna. I can see the camera like this. I already know it's gonna. Okay, enough excitement. Snyder looked at the movies that were there before him, and he went one step further, as he does. I say one step. That's because I've only seen it once. You know? It's possible that he's gone 10 steps, 100 steps. That's what a director does. That's what someone who contributes on the writing, on the directing. This is a Zack Snyder story. He was first telling this story to Deborah Snyder, the person who produces all of his movies, who is his wife. He told her the story when they were dating. So this is something that's been going on through his mind for a long time. And that doesn't stop it from this movie being dedicated to that one person. You know, multiple visions, multiple meanings sort of emerge together. Now this is I've seen this mistake happen so many times. Do not make the mistake of looking at the screen, looking at the pixels and thinking, oh, this looks a bit faded, this looks old, this looks 80s, this looks 70s, this is bad. Don't make that mistake. I've seen other critics make that mistake so many times. Like when you go and see the movie, you know, if you're an amateur critic, see the movie, watch the movie, like try to empty your mind of preconceptions. Like it's so easy to come in with the preconceptions, like, oh no, Zack Snyder films, and you have like that preconception. Just clear it. Just go in, you sit down, and you watch. Like on my screening, some people were laughing at inappropriate scenes, and I was like, you know, like trying to like, no, this is actually a momentous moment. It's actually momentous what we're seeing. I get that you're laughing and like, oh, it's funny, like you're free to laugh. I'm not policing behavior. It was more like, okay, you're laughing, I'm clapping, because that's. So as a fan, like if you experience any like discomfort, like, you know, feel free to express yourself. Speaking of expressing myself, expressing ourselves as fans, in my viewing in the UK, I was the first person to clap. It was during, you know, when at the end, when you see the Zack Snyder film, Rebel Moon, I started to clap. And a great friend of mine, even though I've only met her the other day, but yeah, just a great friend because we're both fans, like we both know, like, you know, she started the woohoo, and you know, as fans, you know, to get to go to a Zack Snyder film and to make the audience you know, really participate and to be the person who sort of like initiates it is a fantastical feeling. So again, if you have a chance to go to the theatrical, you got this week, you know, look for the place nearest to you where they're showing. Like, it's only a few cities around the world, but I think there are definitely cinemas. Like, it's not just certain cinemas, it's a few other cinemas. Like, if you express interest, they'll be like, oh, you guys want to see that movie? All right, let's contact Stone Quarry and Netflix and like get this ball rolling. So, you know, show interest. If you really wanted it to play at the cinema in your hometown or where you live, get in touch with the cinema and tell them, look, can you get this movie? And they'll be like, but do it. Why not? That's it. They can always say no. That's all you get. So yes, to go back to the point, do not judge the movie's visuals based on the 70mm theatrical version. Like, I thought it would look beautiful, but you might be tempted to think, it looks like you haven't seen the movie where it will stay forever. You haven't seen the streaming edition. You haven't seen the version that's going to hit on the 22nd or the 21st for America. That version, that's going to be 4K minimum on Netflix. And I haven't seen it, but I've seen the movie, I've seen the content, and I know it's going to look spectacular. Like, glued to the screen, like, faces right up. But I digress. With this film, Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire, hits Netflix in December 22nd. A week from now, a week? It's not even a week, my friends. It's 5 days. It's 5 days. That's all you gotta wait. 5 days. And then you can do it. And then you can see at home. But again, cinema. It will be an absolute feast for the eyes. No doubt about it. Relish that, fans. Enjoy it. The movie will be there, I'm assuming, forever. There will be so much interest in this film, I believe. We don't often give a movie as solid these days. Like, we get great movies from other directors, of course. But for the fans, like, this is a Snyder film. Wait. Other movies are right. Zack Snyder. We're there to watch it. We will be waiting for part 2. I am already waiting. I will be seated. Oh, you're still watching. This is a promotional section now. So if you've seen, like, this, the review is gone. The review is done. So if you just wanted the review, please press that close button, exit the video and all that. This is the promotional section where I will be selling you something. And also talking a little bit about my dream. I'm a cyberpunk vegan author. I've been writing since a young age. My first fiction book is coming May 2024. It's called Induction, Tape World Book 1. It's cyberpunk. It's the story of two characters, the two main characters. The chapters in the book are sort of POV of the two characters. Won't tell you their names, but you can find out. I hope you consider reading it. If you like my work, if you like this review, pre-orders should open sometime between February and March next year, 2024. So yeah, please, if you love it, if you like my content, if you like the review, go and look at my website, geraldonascimento.substack.com. I'll leave it in the notes, in the description below. I will consider reading it. All support is appreciated. Now this is a combination of my dream and the thank you section. This one is the thank you. Thank you. from a fan, from an author, a writer. Truly, sincerely, thank you. And thank you from the younger version of me. My dream to write one of Zack Snyder's movies. One day. I'm not in a rush regarding that dream. I've got Tape World series to write, but definitely one of my top dreams to write, have the chance to be in a writer's room with Zack Snyder to cooperate on a story. That is a dream.